without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to launch into this, guys. So unsurprisingly, the hub for just about everything you need is on Schmidt Resources. So if you want to log into Moxie, there's the easiest way to do, well, one of the easy ways to do that is to click on your region. And when you scroll down, there is literally a Moxie Works section right here. It's titled Moxie Works. The big logo says Moxie Works. So you're going to click on that. And the very, very top link right here is my.schmidtresources.com. This is your login link. This is what you're going to click on to actually log into Moxie. Alternatively, as you can tell from here, you can literally just go to my.schmidtresources.com. So if I'm still on that. If I open a new tab and go to my.schmidtresources.com and I search it, actually I'm logged in right now, but it's going to take you to the login page. So I'm going to sign out so it doesn't sign me in. So when I go to my.schmidtresources.com, this is where it's going to take me for your login. Now, you should have your login information, your email and your password. If you don't, reach out to your admin or ourselves for Premier especially. You should have had it emailed to you, I believe last Thursday is when it should have gone out, to your whatever email address you have on file. If you did not receive that, again, let somebody know. We're able to resend the email, and if need be, resend the email and also like re-add you into the system. Now, the other thing I want to show you guys on this Moxie page is right here where it says support links. You'll see a section that says main support site and then support.moxieworks.com. This link right here. This link will take you to the Moxie support site. And like I said, it is one of my favorite support sites that I've ever been on because they cover all of their tools. But if I were to click over here on the right-hand side, if you see Moxie agent websites, if I click on that, they have guides for each specific thing. So just to pick a random one, if I were to pick I think this would give me what I'm looking for, adding a featured video to your homepage, for example. If I scroll down, they have step-by-step instructions, literally 1, 2, 3. They've got little, they're called GIFs. Don't say GIFs, they're GIFs of each of the steps that you need to take. So that not only do they say, go to the code and copy this, they don't even give you arrows. They actually show you the action on screen. So they have these little guides for just about every single thing that you can need on this website. And it is really, really great to have these at your fingertips. So I would really recommend checking this stuff out if you ever have a hiccup, because oftentimes, if you come to myself or Peter or anybody on your Moxie team about a question, there's a very good chance we'll send you one of these links because we could recreate these guides, but there's really no reason to when they cover as much as they do. So check these out. This support site is really, really awesome. And I love that. So the support site for Moxie is right there. And then last but not least, if you go to that Moxie links square on Schmidt Resources, the last thing I wanted to show you is the Moxie Mondays playlist, the second thing right here. So every Monday at 10:15, we do what's called Moxie Mondays. It is supposed to be a 15 to 25 minute webinar where we go over one specific thing in Moxie. We don't go, it's not a huge long download like this is. We cover one thing. Sometimes we go a little long, but again, we cover one specific thing. And this playlist, if you click on that button, will take you to the playlist. So for example, right here, we talked about blogging on Moxie. For this one, we talked about adding clients to neighborhood news. For this one, we talked about, updating your profile and security settings, right? So we cover one specific thing every Monday so that you can continue to do more and more with it. Because here's the thing. Moxie itself is a huge program. Like I said, there is a CRM. There is a listing presentation tool. No, cut it out, guys. I got the dogs here with me, sorry. And then there's the website builder. So there is a lot here. This is not something you're going to master after this session. It's not something that we as a team have mastered after 2 or 3 sessions. We've been in Moxie for months at this point and are now really getting the ropes of all of it. So the hope is that you take it piece by piece and sort of get the hang of it as we go. So I just wanted to show you guys these three. The other way to get to this, by the way, is if you literally just go to schmidtvideoclassroom.com, and I'm going to put that in the chat so you can see that. And let me actually get the Schmidt resources link in there too, so that you can save that in the chat. So this second link right here, guys, the Moxie links link, is going to bring you to where you can log in, where you can watch the videos, and where you can get to their support site. So that one link is going to have everything you need. But if you go to schmidtvideoclassroom.com, oh my gosh, I got to keep switching windows here. schmidtvideoclassroom.com, it's going to bring you to our training YouTube channel where we have all of our video trainings. And right here on the front page, you can see Moxie Mondays. So I just want to go over those places because those resources are super awesome and helpful in your Moxie journey. So one last thing that I want to go over, because I do get this question a lot before we actually sign in, is that one question I get a lot is, what is the, and I'm just going to stop sharing for a second, and if I forget, just remind me, what is the app for Moxie? And the answer is that there actually isn't, because the entire website is made to be incredibly mobile friendly. From the back end doing all of the work to actually visiting a Moxie website, it's all built mobile. I wouldn't even say mobile friendly, but mobile first, with that, with that being the overall goal. So like if I go to my test site, which I'm going to show you, momentarily, on my phone, it loads the search and my profile. You can't see it. There you go. The search and my profile fitting perfectly for my mobile device. So there is not an app for Moxie because there's no need for an app for Moxie because it looks great on mobile. Now, personally, when it comes to actually signing in and editing and working on my CRM or with my clients, this is personal preference. I always do it from my desktop just because having that bigger screen, having more room to play with, I always prefer to do it that way. But it really is personal preference. As you start to use these tools, you're going to figure out what you like the most, and you're going to decide what works best for your workflow. So we're going to launch into the website portion of things. And hopefully the idea is that you kind of, if you've got your logins, you've got everything up, you can follow along as we go. If you have questions in the chat, please, I'm going to try to pause for questions every once in a while, and I'm going to try to pace this pretty slowly so you guys can follow along. But please, if you have a question or need me to repeat something, put it in the chat and we'll go over something again. Why I love Moxie websites so much is a bunch of reasons. The first one is it's free, right? Everybody here, if you're an agent with this company, you get this website for free. And what's cool about this website is that in terms of, hey George, that's going to really depend on your device. You might want to have two different tabs up on your device and you want to split screen that way, or you can literally, if you watch my screen right now, or you don't have my screen, let me share my screen, you can take your internet window like this and in the corner drag it to like half size so you have them right next to each other. Now this is one of those things, right, where it really depends on your learning style. Me personally, I like to watch something, watch it done, and then afterwards go do it myself. You might like to watch it be done and do it at the same time. Whatever works best is what I want you to do, whatever you prefer to do. So one of the other reasons I love the websites, is besides the fact that it's free, is that you could, if you wanted to, completely fully customize it. For example, I defaulted my website to the templated page, which we're gonna walk through today. So what you're looking at right here, guys, this is my test site. This is the template that you all have already on your site. Already, to me, this looks great because you've got my info right there. You've got how to search for listings right there and a video, which, we'll talk about how to add that video in this little bio here. But this is the template. This isn't even anything custom yet, and I've already got featured properties, luxury homes, all this good stuff here. But what's really cool is that if you want to take it to the next step, sort of like the 201, and we do trainings on this and we've got videos on this. We're not going to cover this today just because we need to bite-size this information. But I want to show you another website one of our trainers, Elizabeth, has set up. where she has completely customized her homepage. So you've still got the search here, as you can tell, but she's got some new tabs right here. She still has the featured properties thing right here. And I wonder if I can even, from my condos in Holland, homes for dogs, I don't know if I have it up here actually right now, but you can basically make any of these custom pages that you want to make, whether they are your home page, whether they are extra content. You know, this was an example that I was just making in a training one time where actually this is a pretty bad example because it doesn't look that great. But if we look at Elizabeth's, the Moxie Monday she just went over on Monday is if you click on this preferred partners tab right here, you can create a page where you display your partners that you work with, your mortgage company, your home warranty company, insurance company, again, your preferred vendors. This is our list, .com, which you might start to hear more about hopefully soon. All this to say, you can have a nice templated page that is really easy to set up, which we're going to do today. Or if you want to, you can go in and customize as many things as you want, from templates, or if you really want to go big, from scratch. So it's all here for you. It's all free. And this is the big thing, is that I've had a lot of agents over the past couple of years. I've had a couple people from Premier, but I've had people over the past few years from all of our regions ask me this, is like, I want to do a third part. I want my own website. I don't like the Zap website. I don't like the old CB Great Lakes website. I want something custom. I want my own thing. And I will say, too, our old sites on CB Florida Homes, CB Great Lakes, they weren't that great. They were pretty outdated. So I understood the desire to have your own custom site. Nowadays, with Moxie, I genuinely do not believe there is any reason for you to go outside of the Moxie platform to create your website. Some people are going to want to do that. That's that's absolutely always going to be your choice. But this platform does everything that I would want from a custom website, including having the search right built in. Because if you go off and build your own website, one of two things is going to happen. One, you're going to work with a website developer that does real estate sites, but you're going to have to pay to have your MLS attached to it, which can be very expensive. Or two, I don't know if I did A and B or 1 and 2, but 2, you're going to have a custom site where you don't have the search built in, and you're going to have to link off of your website to say, click here to search for homes, and it's going to be a bad experience for the consumer. This has everything built into it that you would need it to built into it. John, you absolutely can add your own HTML if you want to, 100%. That's something that we would probably want to offline and talk, do something after the fact. But yes, you can add your own HTML, your own codes, your own anything custom that you have, if that's the way you operate, which, kudos to you, because I have trouble with HTML sometimes, probably more times than not. So I want to show you guys today how to get this set up, what we're looking at right here, this this templated page. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in to my.schmidtresources.com. Like we said, I've got my email here. I'm going to log into my JD profile. I'm going to click next. I'm not going to tell you what my password is because that's mine, but you're going to click sign in. And chances are it's going to take you here. So this right here is sort of just your back end profile for Moxie. I would 100% recommend taking the time to just make sure this information is correct. It should be. You should already have a picture and stuff attached, but always take the time to make sure it is correct. If you don't have a picture, let's just say, just click this little camera up here, and you can upload a new image, or you can remove this image. It's that one's pretty similar to a Facebook or to a LinkedIn or to any other profile. You just click the camera, and you're able to upload a new image. We're going to click over here. So there's 3 tabs here: personal info, contact info, and web info. We're going to click on contact info. Same deal as we talked about earlier. Make sure your primary and your display email are what you want it to be, what you want to display on your website. And then, of course, your mobile phone, make sure that's what you want it to display too. Now, the reason why this information is important is, A, this is what we use internally to communicate oftentimes. We'll pull information from Moxie. But B, your About Me page, this is another templated page from Moxie. All of the info that you see here pulls over from right here. So you want to make sure that this info is correct, because if somebody clicks on your My Bio page, your information is going to be fed from that back end. So you want to make sure all of this information is correct. So we're going to go back to this roster page here. So we've done personal info, we've looked at contact info, and now we're going to click on web info. This is where you're going to want to build out a little bit of information. So you can see that they have your About Me thing right here. I can add some paragraphs here. We're going to skip the URL thing because then you have a social media section where you can connect your social media, your business page, maybe your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and so on. So you can see I already have my bio right here, but if I want to add to it, if I want to edit that, all I'm going to look for, guys, is this pencil right up here along this white bar. So it's going to have your office name, and then you're going to see a little pencil right here, and you're going to click on that pencil. Now, once you click on that pencil, you now have the ability to edit any of these 3 tabs. So if I go, you can see I'm on the web info right now, but if I go over to contact info, I can add stuff right here. For example, maybe I have my fax number that I want to add. I could add that right here. I could add a backup email. It doesn't really affect that, so you don't really need to worry about that. But my point is that once you hit that pencil, you have the ability to edit any of these tabs. Now I want to go back for a second to show you my bio on this page that we were just looking at. Because if you'll notice, I have more about me, which I believe is, that is sort of templated in. But then you'll notice I've got one paragraph and a header right here. And then I've got a second header right here. So when we go back and look, you can see that reflected in the way this is formatted. I've got paragraph 1, and I've got my title and my paragraph. And then I've got paragraph 2, and I've got my title and my paragraph. If I wanted to add, you're going to default to only having one paragraph there. But if you wanted to add a second one, or in my case, a third one, all you have to do is click Add Info right here, this big blue button, and another paragraph is going to appear. And then I can put a title in and so on. I'm going to turn Slack off because I got the marketing group talking to me. Let me see what the questions are. Get the chat up. Is the website link I place here my current? I don't want us to work on that part quite yet, Vince. I'm going to get to that point in a moment. So we're not going to talk about. Yes, I know, not yelling this time. Thank you. We're not going to worry about the URLs quite right yet, but we'll get there very briefly. Right here, you've got your About Me. Like I said, you can add information. If I don't want that, I could just click Cancel up here, and it's not going to save that third paragraph, obviously. But if I do, I can click that pencil again. I could re-add it, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to scroll down here. You can see all of these social media options right here. I can add my Instagram, I can add my LinkedIn, my YouTube, and all I got to do is put that URL in for me to use right there. So from here you can see I've got my Facebook just right here, but if I wanted to add more, I could add instagram.com/jdwaldy, and now I'd be able, to connect my Instagram account. So those are the things that I want you guys to focus on on this portion right now. I'm in training till 2:30, then I'll look. Thanks. So add as much social media as you have. You can see right here they do have a little notice about your business page versus your personal page. It is highly recommended that you only link a business page here if you have it, because you don't want clients necessarily to be able to find your personal page. So I would leave that blank for now, or only put your business page here. Sorry. So, and this is all stuff that I think is good to have before you start working on your website. Because it's going to be stuff that's fed over. So when you're done, always make sure along the top up here to click Save. I think I have to put the HTTPS right here. Let me try putting this part right here. See, and you'll get those little errors if it doesn't work. Let me try that now. Okay, of course it's not letting me add my Instagram. I don't know why it's not, but The Facebook part had no problem. So what if I just do that? Put JD Waldy. Will that do it? No, whatever. Not worried about my Instagram anyway. It's my personal account. So you can see I've got the full URL here, though, for Facebook. So you do need to paste the entirety of the URL, not just part of it. So make sure you have this entire link right here when you're adding your social media. So I'm just going to click cancel to get out of there. So the next part we're talking about is actually getting into the website portion. Now, a lot of us have domains that we have bought outside of Moxie. For example, maybe you've got, jdsellshomes.com or something like that. We're going to get to that part in a little bit, but we're not going to talk about those custom URLs quite yet. So, what we want to do, guys, there are 2 ways that you can easily access your website. Number 1, right across the top here, there's a button that says My Website. Again, Brenda, we're talking about that part right now, so let's hold tight on the Moxie links part. So right here, you've got My Website, and alternatively, if you click on the right over here on your profile picture, you're not going to have all these options. So I have admin status, but you're going to find one down here that says Website. It's the very last option. Now, the very first time you access your website, you're going to get an additional screen that's going to look, it should look something like, no, it's I was hoping it would bring up the screen, but you're going to have a screen that is basically going to ask you, what do you want your website URL to be? And it's going to be a blank space, and then it's going to say .cbfloridahomes.com. So, if you do not want to buy a custom domain, this will be your website link, your URL. So you can see for me now, we had this set up as a default when we brought our old websites over. We did first name dash last name .cbfloridahomes.com. You will have the option to do whatever you want. You could do first dash last name. You could just do first and last name, JD Waldvogel. You could do first dot last name. You can do whatever you want, but I would still recommend doing your first and last name in some fashion. Just for safety and for clarity, I would recommend doing it like this: your first name dash your last name .cbfloridahomes.com. That's going to be the easiest, most concise way to do it. And once you click on that part, once you click save for that, it's going to bring you here. And also, like I said, you will have to do that the very first time you are working on your account. After that, it's never going to ask you to do that. It's just going to look like my screen just did. So I would click on my profile page up here. I'd click on website, and it's going to give me this box right here. And I'm just going to click access your website admin. And if I click the My Website across the top up here, it's going to bring me to the exact same spot. So this right here, guys, is the main back end of your website. Now, the website is built on WordPress, so this can be a little bit, like I said, overwhelming if you've never done this before, but that's literally why we are doing this training, because it is set up to be as user-friendly as possible and as easy to navigate as possible. So there are a couple things we need to do first. The very first thing I want you guys to do when you log in and you see the screen, and if you are literally following along with me, these 2 things I want you to do with me right now. The first thing I want you to do is that on this common tasks list, go to the very bottom option, apply an Ssl Cert. And we're going to click where it says go there. Right here, go there. This is a security thing, basically. This is what yours should look like. It should say no SSL detected. And it's basically like, hey, we want to make your site more secure. So you're going to click request SSL certificate. And then you're going to see this, request submitted. It might take up to 2 days. That's fine. Don't worry about that at all. But we want to get that security on your site just so that information can't be pulled from it. So that's step number 1. And it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, when you're on that screen that we were just looking at, you're going to go to the bottom option, apply an SSL cert. You're going to click go there, and you're going to click request certificate, and you're good to go. The second thing we want to do is underneath here where it says completing your site activation. You're going to click, you can see that right there, completing your site activation. You're going to click on the number 1 task, make your site visible to search engines. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to click go there. So what you want to do is you're not going to worry about any of these settings besides the very last one, search engine visibility. If you'll see right here, mine says discourage search engines from indexing this site, and it's checked. Basically, that is me saying, if I check that box, I'm saying do not send this website out to Google, do not send this out to Yahoo or Bing or anything like that. I don't want people to see this site. Obviously, you do not want that. You want your site to come up in searches. You want people to be able to find it on search engines. So what you want to do, guys, is you want to uncheck that box and then click Save Changes. Then your website will start to be able to be found through Google, through these search engines. Now, I've had a couple people ask me, should I wait to do this until after I've really worked on my website? My answer is no. You should do this right away. You should uncheck this box and then click Save Changes, because it takes time for websites to build SEO, to build search engine optimization. And the sooner that you can send this out to the search engines, the sooner your SEO is going to start to be built. And you want it to happen sooner rather than later. So uncheck that box and then click Save Changes. And then those are the 2 things that we've done that we really want to do before we get going. So from this screen, I'm not going to click Save Changes because it's a test site, I actually don't want it to be on Google, so I am going to leave it as is. But once you've done those 2 things, guys, if you ever click this home button right across the top up here, if I know that I'm going to do that, it's going to take you back to this page that says common tasks, completing your, where we just were basically. So if you ever feel like you're getting lost in a certain setting, you can always click that home button and be brought back to where you are. Now, because this is built on WordPress is a very commonly used website building platform. I personally, with our company, we have other websites that are built on WordPress that we use for all the time. You're going to see a lot of settings over here. I do not want you to worry about any of those settings unless we specifically go over it. Some of it is just your normal stuff that gets, that's part of a website when you're building a site, and there's no need for you to go there unless you are specifically told to for a reason. So don't be overwhelmed by all of these things. There is a reason why we have this common tasks list here, because those are the things you're going to need to worry about. So what we're going to do for essentially the remainder of this is we're going to work through some of these common tasks. Some of them are things that we should have already done. So like, for example, I've got my Facebook already added here that came in from the other part previously, so we don't need to worry about that. But some of these things are going to be things that are really important for our site. And the other thing I want to show you guys is that I'm going to, in a different tab, and I'm just telling you this now so you can see, in this second tab here, I'm going to show you what we're going to be working on. Meaning, when I say, okay, we're going to choose this tagline right here, I'm going to have this up in another tab to show you what that tagline is going to look like. So the very first thing we want to do, guys, is we want to click this first task here. Personalize your site's style, and then we're going to click go there. So this is where, there's a fly buzzing around here. This is where you're going to pick your homepage. You have 3 options when you're looking at a homepage right here. 2 of them are templated, which is what we're going to talk about today. But the third one is if you were to ever build a custom page, you could click on this custom page and change some stuff. The second thing I said to do, Darylyn, is when we go, and we'll take a step back quick to go over that again, is, let me make sure people are, I'm gonna mute, there we go, is the first thing, like I said, guys, was the apply an Ssl Cert, and the second thing is make your site visible to search engines. That is right under this header right here. completing your site activation. So you're going to click on go there for the make your site visible part. And then all you need to do here, Darylyn, is uncheck this box right here. You want this box to be blank. You do not want to see the check mark there. So you uncheck that box, you click save changes, and you're off to the races. That's the second thing that you want to do. So going back to the first task here, remember don't worry about that. We are on the home page, and then I clicked this very first line right here, personalize your site's style. So like I said, the first two are the ones we're going to look at right now. The third one is for a custom page, which we're not going to worry about today. But if you had a custom page, you would click custom, and you would click select, and you could pick which custom page you wanted to use. So it's going to default to search focused. And if you click view larger image right here, you can see an example of what that's going to look like. Of course, it's not zooming in for me. Whoops. What that's going to look like with your information. Now, you got the search bar right here. You've got a little header right here. Then you've got your information underneath right there, your bio, your contact info. Your other option is agent focused. And if we look at this, you can tell the difference here where your bio is actually front and center with the search bar directly underneath in a bit of a smaller fashion. Now, this is both my personal preference and I would say my professional preference. I would recommend doing the search focused layout where the search is up top and you've got your bio down here. And the reason is this is more consumer friendly. This is, I think you forgot to re-add the check, discourage. I clicked, thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you looking out for me. I clicked away from that page before I even saved anything. So my site is good to go. But thank you for noticing that and for looking out for me there. I really appreciate that. So this site right here, guys, I mean, when you look at mine, my test one like I was talking about, this is consumer friendly. This is built for the consumer to be able to search for homes, see my contact info, and so on. We as agents oftentimes want our info to be the first thing people see. We want them to see our name, our face, our photo, but we need to always be thinking about the value we are providing for our clients. What is it that they are going to want to do when they go to your site? And additionally, if you're sending them to your website, they already know you to a degree. So the reason why I love search focused is because, yeah, your info is still there, but the ability to search right there is front and center. So chances are you're not going to have to, Brenda asked if someone searches, do we capture their info? If someone searches, you do not. However, what I will show you that's cool is that if somebody searches from my website, I'm on my JD specific site and I search in Holland. Let me show you this real quick. And I click on any active listing, my information will show up next to every single listing because I am the quote unquote featured agent. I am obviously not, I'm not down here listed as the listing agent. But I am the person that they would contact right here. So if they were to click email me, if they were to click work with me, I would get that information. But just by searching, no. And that's like most websites. That we don't currently have what's called forced registration. We are working on options for that, actually. But just like other sites, people have to input their information if they want to give it to us. But like I said, if someone searches from my website, again, if I scroll down to a random listing down here, it actually looks like a pretty nice house. My info will pop up as the featured agent here. So if someone does click, email me, work with me, I will be the one that gets the lead info, if you will. Is my website going to be ADA compliant? I believe the answer to that is yes, John. Now, that's something that Carrie, I believe, and Terry, if you know more about that, please let me know. But I believe Carrie Scomp, who is our VP of I think she just got the promotion about a week ago. I think it's Operations and IT is her VP of Operations and IT. That is something that she has been working on because that has been a thing in Florida recently. But our I believe the last we checked is that it is, or that it is about to be by adding a couple things, but it shouldn't be anything. I know, yes, I know, Michelle. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. We know that they are cracking down on it, and if it is not ADA compliant, it's nothing that you have to do. They are settings that we are doing on a company level. Is that right, Terry?
That's right. The company's taking care of it. They told our agents not to worry about it, that they will make sure that they're compliant.
Perfect. That's exactly what I thought. I just knew that Carrie had been dealing with that issue specifically. So we are very, very aware of that because we have seen, like you said, Michelle, people are cracking down on that. So you should be defaulted to the search focused setting. So you shouldn't really need to do anything different here, but I'm going to click publish just so that I can show you that's how you save your settings. The next thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to click on header. Look on the left-hand side here. I'm still under appearance, homepage layout. I'm going to click header right here. And this is going to allow you to basically, I would recommend picking the default header right here. Honestly, I shouldn't have said that. Any of these. So if you pick your default header, this very top option, when you look at your website, when I go back to the test right here, come on, bring me back. I've got the Coldwell Banker logo, the CB logo, right across the top here. Now, because mine's a corporate site, again, mine just has the normal CB star. However, if you choose any of these options, if you click, personally, I don't like these big ones right here because they just take up too much room. I would pick the slim style, and I'm just going to do a slim style logo left, just for the sake of it. And then I'm going to have the option, again, you will not have all of these options. You should only have the premier option, but you're just going to pick your logo, or pick your style right there. So I'm going to do blue text Woodland Schmidt, or I can do white text with it. So you can see what you're going to pick here. Do you want it blue and white, or do you want it white and blue? It really is personal preference, guys. If you don't want to worry about it, you can just click default header. If you don't want to worry about it, you don't even need to go to this page. But these are just some of the style options you have within the template itself. So then all you'd want to do, if you've picked one and made some changes, this is going to be one of those steps we do every single time. Click publish. Click publish to save your changes. And again, I'm going to skip out of that. But again, when you're done here, when you've done anything and you've published it and saved, you can hit that home button right across the top up here. As always, I'm going to click that home button and it's going to bring me back to where I am. So the first thing we've done so far is we've personalized our site's style. Now we are going to hit personalize your homepage. This is going to be where we're going to spend the bulk of your time just kind of in general. So we're going to click go there. And this is what I was talking about a second ago, guys. This is where we are going to change everything that we see right here. So and I'll just repeat that. Everything that we see here, we're going to edit bit by bit over here. Now, home page name, home. Don't change that. I would just keep that as is, guys. I'd keep that just as is. Background image. This background image that you see right here is going to show up right here underneath my search bar. So I've got a photo of St. Croix. I think, did I take that? Yeah, I took this photo. I'm not saying it's a good photo. I'm just saying I took it. Credit where credit's due. Am I right? I took that photo and I uploaded it and put it underneath my search bar here. There will be a default photo that is there for you that you don't need to change if you don't want to. But if you do, all you got to do is choose right here where it says upload or choose an image. And you would just upload an image. So first thing you have to do is say, hey, I have the rights to this. We can't use photos we don't have the rights to because it is illegal. And we don't do illegal things around here. So make sure you have the rights to that image. You can reach out to the marketing group and we can supply you with an image if you'd like. Or this is sort of what I would recommend, if you have a local image that you like, that you took around town or around your community, use that image. So you would just, you could literally, I don't think I have any photos on my desktop right now. What about my downloads folder? No, I cleaned it up fairly recently, so it looks nice. I could drag and drop, or of course I could click select files, and I could choose an image from my computer by navigating to where I want it to be. So I could take this photo, click open, and it would upload to this section here. So then once I uploaded it, there are 2 more settings that you can change if you want. And again, guys, I'm just going through all of the options you do have. I'm not saying you have to do all of these things. I just want to show you what is affected by what. So the first one here is text color. So when I go to my home page, you'll see that all of this text, my title right here and this text right here, is all in white. If I wanted to, I could change that text to black by just simply selecting the black option. I would say from the majority of what I've seen, white looks better. So that's why I've defaulted to that. Now the other thing I can do is I can add a background effect. And let me show you what I mean. If I click none right here, and I'm going to go down and publish my page so I can show you what I'm talking about. If I just had uploaded my image directly and I had no background effect, let me show you what happens when I refresh this page. You can see that there was a bit of a layer lifted off, and for me, it just is harder to read this stuff. What I mean is, it is, you know, like this text does not show up as well against that photo. Vance says, I cannot find the homepage you are working from. I'm signed into my account. Okay, so Vance, have you, from your account, have you clicked on my website across the top up here? Because we had to click on my website to go into the website portion of Moxie. So if this is the account you're signed into, you're going to want to click my website first. And that will bring you to where we are working in right now. So I'm gonna move on, but I'm gonna be looking for your response, and we can pull back a moment here if we're still missing a step. So so what I did here, guys, like I said, it just doesn't. We're gonna get to that. Don't worry, Darylyn, we're getting there. What I've done, guys, is I have just added. I've kept the text white, but then I've added a background effect to darken my image. So I got the darken right there. And when I scroll back down here and let me go all the way down and click publish. When I refresh this, so now that I've darkened it, watch what happens here. It's subtle, but you can just see that this background image darkened a little bit, which for me makes the text pop a little bit more. And I like that. So that's why for me, for this site that I'm using, I have the text as white and I've darkened the background effect. The next line is right here. Mine says guiding you home since 1927. The next part of the homepage is this headline right here. And right now I could change it to whatever I wanted it to be. Guiding you home since 1927. I could say, let me help you find your dream home. Right? You could put whatever you want to put in there. Where dreams become home. You know, you could put literally anything and it would populate on the other side. So that's up to you what you want that to say. Do you have a slogan that you like to use? Do you want to just keep it as is? It's totally up to you. I like guiding you home since 1927 because I like the guiding you home campaign, and I like the having the year right there because it shows the longevity of the company. So. This information, your search bar name should kind of be automatically filled in. You can see my JD Waldvogel, such a hard name to say. I feel sorry for the boys. They're going to have a hard last name. That's just going to appear really not anywhere that we need to worry about, honestly. So this search bar text, I would not pay too much mind to. Now, here's the other thing I'm going to say about this search to kind of answer your... Vance, so that's what we were talking about earlier, is that's probably where it's asking you to enter your new URL, where it has a blank box, and then it says blank box dot cb, or let me make sure that I'm not incorrect here. New website creation tool. Yeah, so it probably has a blank box and then says .cbfloridahomes.com. Yes, John, we will. So Vance, for this part, you would want to put something in, probably like Vance-Brinkerhoff .c, and then it would have .cbfloridahomes.com. Basically, if you haven't built if you've never been in the website part, like we were speaking earlier about, you will need to have you'll have to create a URL for people to be able to visit, and that URL would be first dash last name .cbfloridahomes. So before you can get to the screen that I have on screen right now, you would need to put in whatever you want your URL to be. John, that's not something we're going to go over today. So if you want to follow up with myself or Peter Hopkins on that, we can discuss that another time. But that is definitely sort of a 201 level sort of a thing. So once we're on this page, all we've done so far, perfect, awesome, Vance, I'm glad to hear it. We're gonna go back to that personalize your home page. So that screen you're looking at right now, Vance, where it says personalize your home page, we're gonna click go there, and then that's gonna bring us to the screen we're on. So your home page, guys, I was gonna answer this for Darylyn, but Louisa, you're apparently having an issue with this right now. It should default to the area of the consumer. Meaning, mine right here says Holland, Michigan, United States. That's because that's where I'm located. So if I go to, if I was in, Punta Gorda, Florida, it should show Punta Gorda right there. If I were in Van Nuys, California, it should show California there too. If it doesn't, please let one of us know, because I believe this is something that has come up fairly recently internally, but I'm fairly certain that it's supposed to feed from the area that the consumer is currently in. But I feel like that's one of those things that Carrie might have to help me with, because, okay, so people are having some Marietta, Georgia stuff. So I'm going to write that down and bring that up after the fact, because we had a conversation last Friday about that, so I'm going to follow up to find out some more about that. But rest assured that it should be, wherever the consumer is what it should be. But I see some people are having some Georgia come up. So let me follow up on that for you guys. Thank you. So the next couple sections we're going to look at, guys, let me actually take this video out right here, because I want to show you how to add that video in a second here. Get the video out. Good, it's gone. I deleted everything on accident. Whoopsies. There we go. All right, so the next couple of things we're going to look at right now, why is there so much space here? I'm just going to worry about that later, is these two parts, profile settings. Now again, this should have automatically filled in for you from that thing that we were looking at in the beginning when we were editing stuff from here. That contact info should be fed over from right here. Now you can, of course, if we're looking at the home page, guys, you can change anything you want right here, but that should be automatically fed for you. So it's hopefully something you don't have to worry about. And of course, when we look at my custom or my page, that info is right here. This contact info right here on the left, that's what we're looking at right here under profile settings. Pretty straightforward. So, welcome text. This is basically a short bio that you can add to your page. So right now you can see I've only got, this one line of text here. Let me actually go down to the bottom and publish this so I can show you real quick. Let me refresh real quick. There we go. So yeah, that's part of my problem, is I bet you I know exactly what the problem is. Do that. Reset to default. Yeah, I want to reset the welcome text just so I can show this a little bit better. So basically, this is where you'll add a bio. That bio will reflect right here on your page. So I have a second bio that I've added, so we're not worrying about this right now. And all of this white space should be a lot smaller when you're actually working on your bio itself, because again, I've been messing with this for far too long, honestly, at this point. So this is really where you'll want to add your bio. And this can be 2 lines, this can be a little bit of an intro, or it can be, a paragraph or 2. I wouldn't do too much. I would keep it relatively short. Maybe I want to say, like, if you look at what I have here, I'm actually just going to copy and paste this, put that right in here. And mine just says, my name's JD. Thanks for visiting my page. I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt. I love helping people buy and sell homes. People are my passion. Then again, that's what they all say. I might even, that's from my other bio, so I might take that out and say something like, please look around my site and search for, or you know, and search for any current listings. I'm just making this up for the sake of it. If you have, oh man, I can't stand it. If you have any questions, feel free to call me at my number or email me at, and I'll put my email in there. Whoops. Done. So I'm going to put that there. The other thing I want to show you though how to do is how to add a video. Now, the reason why I want to show this is because this add media button is not helpful. It looks like it's what we should use, but it's actually not. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a video on YouTube. So I'm just going to put in Coldwell Banker guiding you home, just so I can pull over a video. So I'm going to go to the video that I want to use. Come on, bring it to the video right here. And I'm going to pause it. So what I'm going to do, if you want to add a video, you don't have to add a video, guys. This is just how you want to do it, how you do it if you want to. In this bar right here, it operates a lot like a Word doc. So if I wanted to highlight my name, I could highlight my name and I could click the B and I could bold my name if I wanted to. Right? So this works a lot like a Word document or a Google Sheet or something like that. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to click this little button, the very last button, insert/edit media. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the YouTube link in here. So I'm going to go back to YouTube. I'm going to go to the very top up here, right click, copy. I'm going to go back to my website. I'm going to paste that in, right click and paste. It's going to automatically fill in dimensions, so I don't really have to worry about any of that. I'm just going to click OK, and you can see the video will appear. Now, it's going to look massive right here, but that is okay. It's going to look okay when we're actually on the website, so don't worry about this huge, massive area right here, or how big this video looks. I'm going to scroll down again to the bottom. I'm going to click Publish just so I can reflect for you the changes that we've made thus far. And again, mine's a little bit wonky. Actually, no. See, now that I've redone my thing, there's not that much white space besides here because of the video. So here's my little bio that I've added, the short couple of lines, and here is my video. So we're going to use this section right here, guys, like we were looking at, this welcome text section, to add a little bit of a bio, add a bit of a welcome message, kind of like it says. I don't want this to be too long. You don't want to add too much information here, okay? You want it to just be short and sweet and a bit of a welcome, obviously, to anybody who's visiting your page. Next, we're going to scroll down here. You have what is called a featured properties. Yeah, absolutely, Darylyn. If you've got your own video, you can put any video here you want. If you have like a custom like welcome video that you want to have, all you got to do is pop it on YouTube and you can put that link in here. Absolutely. Yeah, put anything here. I mean, if you notice my test page, you can see at the bottom here, I've got one of my songs from that I released last year, right? I did that as an example of what you can do. But this is like, you can add whatever you want. Thank you, Amanda. Like I said, I'm going to take a look at that and see what we can figure out there. So the other thing you'll see, guys, the next section here says featured properties. So this is a featured property. Okay, so I want to address this, guys, because I get this a lot. John asked, when a video is added, will YouTube automatically load the next video? Or can I stop it? That is not a setting that you have any control over. That is a YouTube setting that only the uploader, I believe, if at all, has the ability to change. So you can see right here, they have it set where the video will not automatically start playing the next video, but a few options will come up. But nothing nothing's going to start without me pressing anything. You won't have the option to affect that. That is up to the uploader and YouTube itself. But I also think this is something that a lot of us worry about that I don't think we really need to. I think it's something that we put more stock in than necessary, because most of the time what will happen is actually at the end of a video, if I'm watching a video, I'm going to pause it and just keep moving. So I don't really want us to stress too much about that, because it's not an action that it's not something that happens as often as we feel like it does. People will normally pause it and keep moving. And if it does get to the end, at least with this particular video, as you can tell, nothing happens. It does not play the next video. But even this screen here, that's nothing that I can do. That's purely a setting from YouTube. You won't know, Andrea, until that you put the video in. Like I said, though, I really, truly, guys, I would not worry about this, because it's not something that happens as much as we think it does. But you can see that it's not playing because the video just ended and it's not playing. You know, if a video was going to start again, the video would have started by now. A counter, you know, like, let me see if I do it here within YouTube, but it probably not. Yeah. So like this happens a lot of the time. As you can see, this next video is going to appear, but we're not watching this video in YouTube anymore. We're watching it on my website, which is why we don't have to worry about this. So again, I really would not worry about that as much as we sometimes do. So I want to move on to this featured properties thing here, guys. The featured properties is a search that you have some editability about. Now, I'm going to say this from the get-go. This particular one, Jenny, like I said, it's up to what settings you have chosen on your channel. But 90% of the time, the videos will not autoplay on your website. If you are worried about it, go in, put that video in, and then visit your website as a consumer and see what happens. That would be my biggest recommendation, is to test it like that if you're using a personal video. So, with the featured properties module here, I'm going to say this one from the get-go. On the templated page, this one is not removable. This featured properties template, featured properties module will have to be here. Now again, if you were to do a custom page, you could add or remove any specific things that you wanted to add or remove. But the featured properties is going to stay there. Now, you have some options with what actually shows up there. So if we're looking at this, you can see that you can change the title. And it's, you know, right now it's featured properties. I could change that to anything else. And secondly, from this property list, you have a few options that you can change the listings to. For example, you can change it to say to show your active listings. So you would click My Active Listings, and then you would put in whatever. I mean, you could call this My Current Listings. And then what would happen is, because you know mine, as you probably saw, was defaulted to my I think it was my company's active listings. So all the listings from the company were going to show up there. But if I change it to My Current Listings, then the property list would be My Active Listings. When I go back here, your listings that you have will show up in this featured properties section. If you've got one, it'll show that listing. If you've got 4, it'll show all 4. If you've got 8, you'll be able to cycle between them by just clicking these arrows. So you do have a few options. So if we click on My Current List, if we click on this property list, you can see the options we have here. My Active Listings, My Sold Listings, Featured Properties, My Offices Listings, so on and so forth. Yes, it does sort by high first. It sorts from highest price to lowest. And again, within the templated feature, that's not something we can change. But if you were to move forward, when their status changes, does it automatically get changed by the system? Yes. Yes, it does. So if you have an active listing and it goes pending and sold, it's going to change to sold. Yep, this is fed by our listing systems. You're very welcome. So you can choose what you want to have here. Obviously, like I said, mine for the companies, just for the training, I have it changed to featured properties and has, I have my office, because these are all of in Holland, where I am quote unquote associated with. These are the listings that I have here. So I'm going to keep that. Where did I have that as? My office's listings. The next one, though, is a custom search module. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to show you, because we're almost done with this. I'm going to show you the custom searches, and we're going to leave it at that for now. Okay. But then the next one says custom search module. Now this one, if you don't want to have a second search, you can check this box where it says hide this widget. Not without doing a custom search, Andrea. Andreas, can you add listings from other CB offices? Like I said, for the featured properties one, you are restricted to what these options are. My active listings, my sold listings, featured properties, my office's listings, which would be the office you're associated with, and then companies, which is all of Schmidt, which is probably why I wouldn't use these, because it's going to pull listings from all over the place. Now, if we do a custom search like I'm about to show you, that you would have that option there. But again, for the templated pages, those are the options you have for featured properties. So for the custom search module, when you check out my site here, I have one that's just called Grand Rapids Luxury Homes. That's because I created a custom search for luxury homes in that area. And then what I did was I picked the custom search that I wanted to do, and then I titled it. But again, and I'm going to show us that in a second, so I don't want you guys worried about that right now. If you don't want that, if you don't want a second list, you can just click hide it. Right here, you would check or uncheck this box. I'm going to keep it unchecked because I like having a secondary search right there. And if you see Grand Rapids Luxury Homes, you might think that I'm able to help you with luxury properties, which is exactly what I want people to think. I want people to come to me for luxury related stuff. So I'm going to, for the custom search module, you don't have one, Amanda, or for the featured properties, you don't have one. If you don't have one for the custom search, I'd like you to take a screenshot and send that to me, because that's really some of the only way that I can really bring that in. So if that's the case, please take a, maybe it's because you don't have a custom search loaded in at this point. That might be it. But if you wouldn't mind sending me a screenshot, that would probably help, because if I don't have a search here, that might be it, because if you don't have any custom searches created, it's not going to pull a custom search over, because there's nothing to pull. So that's my guess. But we're gonna circle back to that in a minute here, guys, because you'll see the button that says create a custom search. That's what we're going to circle back to. So the last couple of things here, blog module and links module. If you actually check out my page, I've got the blog right here because I do have some blog posts in, but I don't have any links because I have not set that up. I don't have these links module. And again, honestly, I don't think any of us are using this right now because it's a bit of a, it's not something we really need to worry about. And I do mean it when I say those things. I don't want us worried about things we don't have to worry about. So this links module, we don't need to worry about it. If you have blogs that you are writing on your site, something we've covered in a Moxie Monday that you can look at, or we'll cover again down the road, your blog posts can appear right here. Blog, and I've got view blog, and I've got 3 blog posts right here for training purposes. So that's where they can pull from. And then you'll see this this text right here where it says show custom text. So you'll see I've got number 1 hit single, and I've got the video right here. If you look at my page, that shows up right next to my blog. Number 1 hit single and that video right there. So I added that the exact same way we looked at it earlier, guys. I added my title, and then I wanted to add this video. So I went to YouTube, I found the link, I clicked on the insert/edit media button right here, and I just pasted the YouTube link right in here. Now, I will say that this is at the bottom of the page, right? So it's not something people are really going to interact with all that much. So, you definitely want to have something good here, but you don't need to worry about having too much. Don't stress about it because it is a smaller section at the bottom. And then the last thing that they have down here is this sample mortgage rates section. Now, I will say this from the get-go, I don't off the top of my head remember where they pulled this information from, this data, but I do remember we asked Moxie and we were satisfied with the answer. So if you are curious about that, if you want me to get you that information, please send me an email, and I'll when we have our Moxie calls, I will ask them again. But I do remember asking them, and Carrie and I going, okay, cool, that's an okay place. But again, you can see they have a disclaimer now. Of course, I took my glasses off right when I tried to read that. For general purposes only. Actual rates available will depend on lenders and stuff like that. If you don't like the sample mortgage rates, though, if you don't want it there, again, you should have an option right here at the very bottom. You can tell it says mortgage rate settings, and I can just click hide this widget, check that box, and when I click publish, and again, guys, always click publish at the bottom of your page or your settings won't save. And again, you can go through and do this piecemeal, right? Like you could spend time today working on your profile settings and your welcome text, and then go all the way down to the bottom and click publish, and then do the rest of it later. So when I refresh my page now that I've checked that box, you can see there are no mortgage rates down here. That box has disappeared and is no longer usable. So that, in a nutshell, it's been an hour, is the templated front page. If you will recall, I don't know if there is a mortgage calculator, Nonia. That's a great question. There might be a custom widget. I'm going to look for that. So nobody needs to worry about what I'm going to do on screen right now. I'm just going to look, but that might be something that you'd have to do custom. Let me see if that's an option. Otherwise, if you have a third party, you could work with them, and like we were talking with John earlier, you could custom code that into your site. We can help you do that if you want. But we would just need to, look at financial calculators. Is this what we're looking for? Heck yeah, it is. Look at that. Cool. So let me show you what I'm looking at real quick, guys. And don't sign off just yet, guys, because there's two more things I want to show you real quick to help with this. So stick around. You can call this the post-credit scene if you want to. So after you've made those changes to your homepage, guys, I'm going to click on Home real quick. And it's going to take me back to this homepage. Now, the one thing I was going to say a moment ago was that, remember when we were looking at personalize your site's style? And we clicked on that, and we could pick agent focused or search focused. No matter which one you pick, everything else we just went over is going to be exactly the same, right? So don't worry about switching any of those other things over, okay? So like if you picked agent focused because that's what you wanted to do, you're still going to have all of the same options that we just went over a moment ago. But the last two things I want to show you guys, and this is a bit of a 201. John, if you're familiar with HTML, you'd have to add that through a custom page. So again, if you want to schedule time with myself or Peter later to go over that, we can do that. But you would have to create a custom page and then be able to add the HTML from there. Okay? So let myself or Peter know in an email follow up, and we can schedule some time to do that. Or I can record a short video or something like that. So the other thing, let me see if this is what we were talking about a second ago. All right, guys, let's get a little bit custom here. So if you're having issues with what is coming up for, we were looking at it earlier with Marietta, Georgia, or Miami, Florida, I want you to try this for me because I'm learning as we go here too. This third option right here, customize your default search area. We're going to click go there. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to click go there. And you're going to see some HTML, some code up here, okay? But what I want you to take a look at is right here it says Holland, and right here it says MI. Yours might say Marietta and Georgia, or Mariette and Georgia. If you want to, swap that out. Take that Holland. I'm actually going to put Saugatuck, a different city in Michigan, right down the street. But I'm going to keep the MI right there. Okay, so that's the part then that we'll have to take a look at then, Amanda. Okay, so that's search dash. So again, we have a call every Monday or every Friday with Moxie, so I'm going to talk about that with them. Thank you for sending me that. But you could probably click save, and let's see what happens if I refresh that. Because again, we are starting to hit that 201, and I don't want to overwhelm us right now. Okay, so mine does still say Holland. So like I said, I was hoping I had a quick fix, but I don't at the moment, so ignore. Okay, so last two things, guys, because I don't want to go over the 90 minutes. I want it to be done early for you guys, but I want to make sure we also cover this stuff. Yes, Vince. First, so it depends on where you are in the process, Vince, about naming the site. If you're already on this screen, you've probably already named your site. If you haven't gotten to this part yet, you can do whatever you want. So you could do vince-fatizzi.cbfloridahomes.com. That's my recommendation because that's our sort of templated format that we used earlier in the year. But you could just do vince.fatizzi.cbgreatlakes or just fatizzi.cbgreat, or sorry, not Great Lakes, Florida Homes. But that is just the, yes, we will. That is the, you can still connect a custom domain outside of whatever you put for CB Florida Homes. That is just the free, if you will, URL that comes with the website. But if you have a custom domain that you are going to use, you can connect that absolutely. And that's another training that we have. We'll do that another time because, again, that's going to be sort of like the 201 level. So I would recommend first-last-name.cbfloridahomes.com, just like you've typed in there. And I'm going to put that in for everybody here real quick to take a look at. If you're still on that screen where it's asking you to add that, this is the format I would follow. Because you only have if you look at the chat that I just sent through, guys, you only have the option to personalize the front half of it. The back half will stay the same. The front half will be jd-waldvogel.cbfloridahomes.com. So that's the part you have the ability to edit. Okay? So what do I want to do next? I want to show you guys how to create a custom search. Now, again, this is a bit of a 201, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that if you're interested in doing that. But again, we've got trainings recorded specifically on this one topic, and they also, of course, have their guides on the support site. But basically, if you will recall, when we were looking at the Personalize Your Homepage part, I'm going to scroll down here. When we look at this custom search module section, it's got three things here: title, and then the custom search results, basically where is the search being pulled from, and then hide this widget. We're not going to worry about the hide the widget right now. Next to where it says custom search results, but next to the drop-down menu even, you'll see create a custom search. So again, just to show you what that looks like on my site here, I've got a custom search for Grand Rapids luxury homes, and it's pulling in luxury homes in the Grand Rapids area. If you want to add a custom search to your page, here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to, from here, you want to click Create a Custom Search. We're going to click that button, and this is the page we're going to see. So the first thing is going to be what do you want to title the custom search? Now, this particular title that we're looking at is really for your organizational purposes. I would still label it something pretty clearly instead of search 1 or search 2, but it's really more organizational. I'm going to put Traverse City Luxury Homes. The next part that it's asking me for is the custom search path. I want to show you how to create that path real quick. So I'm going to go to my website in a different tab. I'm just in, excuse me, sorry guys. I just literally went to my website right now. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for what I want my search to be. And let me show you what I mean by that. So as you can if you recall, we put in Traverse City Luxury Homes. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is search for Traverse City, Michigan. And I'm going to click on that. I'm going to search for it. So it's going to bring me to a search for Traverse City. Now, this actual search part in and of itself could be a 20-30 minute training, which we're not going to spend time on right now because there's a lot to go over. But it operates very similarly to a search on any other website. On a search on Zillow, on coldwellbanker.com, on realtor.com. You've got the search, you can apply filters. There's a couple other fun things you can do. If you look over here on the right, I'm trying to see what my dogs are doing right now. I feel like they should just be, one's just lying on the couch, one's lying on the chair. Just making sure that I didn't miss any emergencies. So one cool thing you can do is if you look on the right-hand side over here, you can either do a radius. So right now I did Traverse City, so it's defaulting to the city boundaries. But I can click radius, and I could put a pin somewhere. Maybe I want to put it right here next to the lake. And then as I pull this out, it's going to make a circle. And I can make this radius as big as I want. So I want to make it that big, and then I'm going to click Run Search. You look right up here, guys, where it says Run Search. Or I can, I think if I take this pin, I can move my search up here. So you can do a radius search if you want to. And then you would click Run Search. Or you can click Clear and Redraw. Or another option I have, because it's going to default now. Yep, I know. It's going to default back to just the city of Traverse City here. Another option I have is I can do draw. I can quick draw, and I can draw a random shape. So if I zoom out a little bit more here, maybe let me see here. I don't want this circle. No. Clear that. I'm going to draw a beautiful shape. And I'm going to make sure we get Chum's Corner, but we don't get Gron. And maybe I really don't want these lakes over here for whatever reason. You guys get the idea, right? You can draw. I don't know if you could hear my dog yawning right there, but it was just the most adorable thing a second ago. You can draw the shape that you want to have listings included in. So you can make custom boundaries if you want to. But again, and then the third option, schools. You can do by public schools and by private school districts if you want to. That will just show up on. Let me clear this and go back to just the original search here. Yes, I know. I know that I removed those boundaries. That was on purpose. I can do schools and do public schools, and you can have those appear, I believe, on the maps here. Now you can't search. I don't believe you can search by school district, but you can. Oh man, I just clicked the wrong button. Please pardon with the button I just pressed, guys. You can have the schools show up on the map here, which some people really, really like to have. So that's just drawing the map itself. Right now, my search is still really only showing Traverse City because I didn't really add that many different things here. But I can search by price point. And again, if I'm doing a luxury search, I want my minimum, at least in the Traverse City area, to be minimum $500,000. And I don't want a maximum. So I'm going to click Apply. And now, just like any other search website, all I'm going to have now are listings that are over $500,000. Now, if I wanted to, I could click Bed and Bath, and I could add some specific filters there. Beds and baths, right? Pretty straightforward. Or I could click on filters over here and do any of these filters. You know, maybe I really only want I don't want condos. I literally only want single family home. Or maybe, you know, I'm doing luxury properties, but I don't want land, because I don't want just big tracts of land. I want, you know, full homes and stuff like that. You could do features, you know, so brokerage listings only, which would be, you know, Coldwell, Schmidt family of companies listings only, new construction, blah, 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 blah. You can create this to be whatever you want it to be. Right now, you can notice I've got active and I've got excluded pending listings. If I wanted to, I could say, hey, include pending listings. Up to you. But basically, guys, you're going to make this search whatever you want your search to be. Like I said, I did Traverse City Luxury, but you could do whatever you want. You could do condos in the area, right? Open house, whatever you want it to do. So what we've got now are luxury homes in Traverse City. We have made the search that we want to use on our site. Here is the next step. You are going to go up to this link up here, this big, long, messy search link, and you're going to copy it. It is going to be long and messy. That's okay. You're going to right-click and copy, and you're going to go back here to this area, custom property search, and you're going to paste that whole long link in. All that's you can see how messy that is. However, you're going to notice right here, the tip right here, the path must begin with search slash. Search slash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up to the top here, and you can see mine actually starts with HTTP ://jdwaldvogel.cbgreatlakes.com, and then it has /search/. So where we're looking right now, guys, is right up here. Do you see how eventually it has that word search right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my I don't know what the typer would be called, the typer right there, right in front of the word search. And then I'm going to backspace everything else. Or you could highlight it and delete it. But you see how it says the path must begin with search? The path must begin with the word search. So now I've got the word search there and all of that gobbledygook, and I'm going to click save. And now I have created a custom search for Traverse City Luxury Homes. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to click home again, just to get back to that home navigational page that we've been working with. And then I'm going to click, I know, Rooney, your life is hard, buddy. You're a 2-year-old dog. Then I'm going to click on Personalize Your Home page, like we were looking at earlier. We're going to go back to this home page. And then I'm going to scroll down, all the way down to my custom search module, which we were looking at earlier. Now, when I look at this custom search results right here, when I click on this, there it is right there, Traverse City Luxury Homes. There is the custom search that I just created. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to choose that. And now I'm obviously, I'm going to rename it. I'm going to change Grand Rapids to Traverse City Luxury Homes. So now I've got Traverse City and that custom search. And then, of course, I'm going to scroll down, click Publish here. And then when we go back to my page, my test page, or your website, we're going to scroll down here. And what do you know? There are our Traverse City Luxury Homes. So that's the last thing I want to show you guys today, because that in and of itself is enough homework, right? Obviously, as you hopefully know through this training, through Terry's calendar, which you can find on Schmidt Resources, there is more training and stuff. But as I go over this thing one more time, please write in any other questions you may have. Michelle asked, can you have more than one custom search? Not on the templated page, Michelle. That's a great question. However, if you were to make a custom page as your home page, then yeah, you could have billions if you wanted to. Wouldn't recommend having billions, but you could if you wanted to. You would just add a couple custom searches. So again, guys, in order to make that search, select one of those custom searches properties. Does it still have you as the agent? Yes. Great question, Tom. The answer is yes, it will. So Tom basically asks, guys, if someone clicks on, I have a custom search down here and they click on one of these, it should still bring me up right here as the contact agent. So yes, as long as it's going through your specific site, your contact info is going to show up. So again, guys, to make that custom search, I'm just going to really, really briefly go over that as we finish up here. To make that custom search, when I go down to the custom search module, I'm going to click Create a Custom Search, and I'm just going to open that in a new tab. I'm going to click Create a Custom Search, and then I'm going to go to my website, and I'm going to create the search that I want to do. So maybe I want to do, just to be creative, I'm going to go to Grand Haven, Michigan. I'm going to go to Grand Haven, Michigan. And then maybe I want to do condos in the area. So I'm going to click Filters, and I'm going to uncheck every box besides condo and click Apply. And now it's going to show me condos in the area, and that's it. So then what I could do if I wanted to, geez, there are some pricey condos. I'm going to copy this entire link up here, copy it. I'm going to go back here to the custom property search. I'm going to paste it in, and then I'm going to delete everything before the word search. Delete, and now just the word search. And then I'd click save, and that's how I'd make my custom search. Lori, I changed the agent name to Bill on the profile page, but it's still saying William on the bio page, which I'm imagining the bio page is the my bio right here. That might be something I would follow up with to Carrie. Normally I would say me, but Carrie Scott might be able to help because It might be the way it's feeding from other like from Account Tech and Dash, which is listing related, and I don't actually, that's operations. I don't really get in there all too much. So I would actually reach out to Carrie about that, because if you are, like you said, on the personal info, I would check the personal info too. Make sure you've changed it there. Maybe personal info, maybe change it from William to Bill right there. You can see where it says first name, last name, and then web info. Like you said, if you've already done that, if you've done those two things, and the bio page is still showing up William, I would reach out to Carrie, Carrie at schmidthq.com, and she should be able to help. Okay, guys, again, this is going to be, I'm going to export this video as soon as we're done, Vince, and it should be available on Schmidt Video Classroom either by the end of the day today or by well before noon tomorrow. I'd like to get it up today, but it just depends on how big the file size is, how long it takes to upload, and stuff like that. Can I make my site a team site? You do. You are able to do that, Donnie, I'm sorry, but that's something that, again, that's a 201 thing, and that's actually, not to keep putting work off for me, Carrie has been within our team known as the team queen, because she has really led the front on creating the team sites. So I would reach out to Carrie Scomp if you wanted to do a team site, because it's absolutely an option. They look great. You have team capabilities, but she knows that feature far better than I do. I know the main website stuff really well. I know Present really well, and I know Engage pretty well. But when it gets to like the fringe stuff like Teams, Carrie's going to be who you're going to want to go to. But all right, guys, let me turn off the recording here. Okay.